stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leave him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Holes. Disney presents Holes. Holes. Shia LaBeouf is in Holes. The cover says, one of America's most cherished books arrives in a winning movie. For real? Okay, I gotta Google this. Holes is a world-renowned classic by Louis Satcher, which was published in 1988. Holes is banned because in a 5th grade American class in Connerson Emerson School, America, the book was read aloud, which caused an uproar among their parents. They thought it was an inappropriate book to read to 9-year-olds. The father of one of the kids took the book to the local government and said the book should be banned. Thus, the book was banned in 2004. Oh, hell yes, it was. Let's do this. Let's press play. Ad for The Lion King for the first time ever on DVD. Wow, that's impressive. Theatrical movie release with surround sound and a special edition with a new song from Elton John. Really? Plus extras like a virtual safari. A virtual safari. See, streaming platforms cannot do virtual safaris. We had it all. We got greedy and we lost it. Coming soon to theaters, Haunted Mansion. Get ready for the ride of your afterlife. That's a money line. Ad for George of the Jungle 2. Thumbs down. Feature presentation. Disney and Walden Media present Holes. It's Tremors for kids. Let's start with the good old-fashioned prison chain gang of kids. The convicts be digging holes in the desert while some guy with a gun watches them do it. A kid sees a snake, or is it a viper? He takes off his boot and he lets it bite his foot. He screams, so things are going great so far in Holes. His shoes fly through the air and we're back to civilization. Apparently, this kid and his family are cursed. No, the shoes flying through the air are unrelated to the first prison scene. It's the same kid from prison, but this is a flashback of why he is in prison. He gets hit with the falling shoes. The cops think he stole the shoes. His grandpa is nuts and obsessed with shoes, and the kid is indeed Shia LaBeouf. The cops come and harass his family. His grandpa is nuts and his mom is annoyed, and his dad is the Fonz. Stanley Yelnats the Fourth is his name, and now he's in court, and he gets sent to a camp for troubled youth. 18 months in camp. Okay, back to them digging holes. I think we're all cut up. There's a lot of guns and kids in the same scenes in this movie. Now we go back in time again. They arrive at camp and all the kids are in orange jumpsuits. We meet Farva, is he the warden or is he a guard? He does not take a shining to him either way. He says there's no guard towers or electric fences, so if he wants to run away, he can, but if he does, he will die and the buzzards will eat him. It's Disney's Holes. Here at camp, they are to dig one 5-foot hole each day. Okay. Oh, there's a rattler warning. Is that foreshadowing? I'm already lost in the timeline. This guy, I believe, is not the warden. He's just a guard. He says, that's not the worst thing that can happen to you is the rattlers. You won't die from a rattler bite, but if you get a yellow spotted lizard bite, you're a dead man. The only rule is don't upset the warden. We meet Rex, Alan, and Theodore. They all have nicknames like Squid and something and something. We meet Zero, this kid laying in bed. They say his name is Zero because there's nothing going on in his head and he doesn't talk. This is like Disney's Oz. Stanley is trying not to be a bitch. They ask how he got there. He got accused of stealing shoes that fell from the sky. From Clyde Livingston, Sweet Pea Shoes. Clyde donated his shoes to a homeless shelter and Zero asked if they had red X's on them. Zero talked. Stanley goes, yeah, they did. I guess that's some famous athlete. And oh my god, the flashback, the actor playing Clyde Livingston is from Oz. It's Jackson Vahue, the fictional character from HBO's prison drama Oz, played by Rick Fox, former NBA basketball star and champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. Back to Holes. Sweet Feet says he doesn't understand what kind of a person steals from homeless children. At night when everyone's asleep and farting, he flashes back to his grandpa saying the family is cursed. The flashback has a flashback to when the curse happened. Some female outlaw gave great-great-grandpa the kiss of death and left him in the desert for 16 days. We come out of both flashbacks and it's early morning and time to dig. Shyla grabs a shovel and then some kid grabs that shovel from him because that particular shovel is shorter than the rest of the shovels and they measure the holes by the length of the shovel. It's a fun albeit unnecessary detail they never go back to. They start digging. They find something. If they find something interesting, they're supposed to show the guard, and if he likes it, the kid will get the rest of the day off. Yet they apparently aren't actually digging for anything. This is just to build character for a bunch of delinquent kids, or is it? The mean kids keep tossing dirt into Stanley's hole. We get another flashback about a family member falling in love and asking a fortune teller about it. He's the farm hired help. He asks to marry the farmer's hot daughter and gets laughed at by the farmer because the farmer is going to make his daughter marry this fat guy because the fat guy offered up a fat pig in exchange for his daughter. She's going to go with that. The fortune teller tells this other guy to take a small pig up the mountain every day and feed it until it's fatter than the other pig, and then she'll have to marry you. And then you have to take me, the fortune teller, up the mountain as well. This movie has come off the rails, okay? So to marry the farmer's hot daughter in this flashback, great-great-grandpa has to get a pig and make it fatter than the fat guy's pig, and then carry the actual fortune teller, like the woman, up a mountain. And then he can marry the daughter. Like, I've seen beautiful women before, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a woman that beautiful. Back to the flashback. The daughter chooses which pig she should get traded for and which guy to marry. She can't decide. So she's going to pick a number, and they have to guess the number. And this sets the farmhand that carried the damn pig up the mountain for months, fattening and coming down. It comes down to a towing cost. He's had enough. The farmhand storms off. He doesn't want any part of this before he can even guess if it's heads or tails. We just keep jumping back and forth. I can't keep up. Madame Zuri is the fortune teller. She also told him to go to America if he can't get the girl, but he has to remember to still take her up the mountain or his family will be cursed forever. He forgets and he goes to America. So in another series of flashbacks, the stagecoach robbing blonde didn't curse the family, this fortune teller did? Or is this like a want to know how I got these scars kind of running joke? Back at camp, it's late night and Shayla Boof is done in his hole, but a lizard chases him, and the guard shoots the lizard and tells him to get a good sleep. The inmates talk about the lizards. The bad ones have 11 spots, but if you get close enough to count the spots, you're already dead. Next day's dig, he finds a fossil and asks for the day off. And the guard is all awkward and is like, the warden doesn't think fossils are interesting. Like, that's not what the warden wants to find in these holes. That was well done. That's good stuff. I'm invested. We flash back, of course we do, someone selling nature's magic vegetables. The bully of the group is the nerd with glasses. We're back to holes. Talk about flipping the narrative in its head. He tells Stanley, if you ever find anything interesting again, you give it to me, okay? Like, I've been digging holes longer than you have, so don't you think I deserve a day off more than you? Classic bully. Stanley almost gets into a fight with some psycho kid back at the play area. Zero picks up a pool ball because he's going to knock a out. Then the situation is diffused, and now Stanley has the nickname Caveman, but Zero has got his back. Some guy in a gray tank top is giving them all a pep talk and is grumpy because Zero won't talk, and then he whispers, I like digging holes. Shudder. Shia LaBeouf, legit great actor. As much as he's a punching bag every other week in Hollywood, and I don't know how to say his name properly, dude is a great actor. Zero tells him he can't read and asks Caveman to teach him to read. He says no. We get some scratching. And now it's montage time. The kids are having fun, back to hole digging. Stanley picks up the fakest large rock I've ever seen. Then he finds a bullet with a heart engraved onto it. Okay, maybe it's lipstick, I don't know. He gives it to the bully, and he's like, I'm gonna turn it in and get the rest of the day off. And Stanley's like, no, man. And then there's tension, and the bully's like, you got something to say about my plan? And Stanley's like, it's already late in the day today. Why don't you keep it and turn it in tomorrow at the beginning of the day? Then you'll get the whole day off instead. And the bully's like, all right, man. So he does. They call the boss. And okay, this is a gal. The warden is a woman. Awesome. It's also playing a great Moby song right now during the scene. The lady is all large and in charge, and she's crapping on all the guards. She's happy with what the kid found and is like, let's dig, and double dig. Stanley stares at the fake rock. Maybe it's important. Spoiler, the fake rock is not important. Caveman is like, how did you know my name? To the warden. And another kid says, she has cameras and microphones all over this place, even in the showers. Another kid says, she has cameras on me in the shower. And the first guy says, I said cameras, not microscopes. That's a joke. In holes. We flash back again, and there's the African-American guy who's obsessed with onions, and he wants to trade the hot school teacher onions for some of her peaches. Yeah, he does. My man. Now she's reading a love book to a kid, and Sam the Onion Man, he's cleaning, but he finishes it because he's got this book memorized. And this is all while he's sanding something without looking at it. Good stuff. She is smitten with the Onion Man. Time to trade those peaches, lady. So basically, there's a rich, important white guy cowboy trying to pick up hot school teacher, but she only has eyes for the African-American hired help onion guy. I'm very uncomfortable. Back to digging holes, back to Sam, the Onion Man, and the hot school teacher. We get a weird montage that sounds like a Winnie the Pooh song. Oh no, they're making out hard, and jealous white cowboy sees this interracial relationship through the school window. I'm extra uncomfortable now, because I wonder how historically accurate this next part is going to be, Disney. Back to the digging, back to the white cowboys burning down the school with the Onion Man in it. No, now they're going to hang him, but Onion Man is escaping in his onion boat, and then the SS racist pulls up beside his boat, and they shoot the onion guy straight in the head. Back to digging holes. I'm dizzy. We're jumping back and forth. I can't follow this movie. Back to the flashback. The blonde outlaw shows up and shoots the sheriff and kisses him. That's Kissing Kate Barlow from one of the other 16 flashback stories. Back to holes. They're digging holes. Now the guy in charge of the kids has a story for them. Are we going to have a flashback from him? No. The music in this movie, though, legit amazing. The guard forgot his sunflower seeds. He comes back to the kids who are digging holes, but they've already spilled them. So Stanley tries to bury them so he can't get busted, but he doesn't get them buried in time, and he gets busted. Now he has to answer to angry girl warden. He lies and says he stole the sunflower seeds. Why? I don't know. In the warden's quarters, he sees a bunch of framed newspapers about Kissing Kate Barlow. She has some nail polish laced with rattlesnake venom, and she teases scratching Stanley, but then out of nowhere, she scratches that weird guard guy, and he starts shaking and dying, and she tells Caveman to go back and dig holes. What is happening? He came back and Zero has dug his whole hole for him. Zero has his back, so Caveman is now going to teach him to read after all. The dude that got scratched isn't dead. The scratches are just all swollen and pussy and look really gross in this movie. Now we have a weird slow motion montage scene. He thinks the tube they found was lipstick and the K beyond it was Kate Barlow. Now we have a Kate Barlow carnage flashback with 4 dead bodies and 4 caskets with lipstick marks on them. Pretty dark for Disney. Stanley's teaching Zero to read, and Zero calls him a slow digger. I don't get why sometimes the bullies bully Stanley and Zero and other times they're friends. I don't get. I guess that's classic bullying. I don't know. We get the Zero backstory. I'm reading between the Disney lines, and we learn that Zero's mom was a prostitute and didn't come back home one day. The bully bullies Caveman, and the guard is like, fight, 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 fight. And then Ricky knocks out Caveman, so Zero jumps on Ricky's back and he's choking out the Everyone's in trouble now. Everyone's like, Caveman isn't digging his own holes now because Zero's been helping dig his holes in exchange for teaching him to read. Now everyone is laughing at Zero for being so dumb he can't read, and they are like on him until Zero knocks out the guard with a shovel and makes a run for it across the desert. Zero's such a loser, the warden says. No one's even gonna come look for him because no one cares about him. He doesn't have family. Caveman goes, I care about him. The other guy says, his blood is on your hands. If he doesn't come back by morning, he's dead and the vultures are gonna be eating his eyeballs. Cut to him stranded in the desert. No, it's a flashback again. Grandpa telling him a bedtime story. Some guy was stranded in the desert for 16 days and survived because he found God's thumb. Is there a what is happening button I could just keep pushing? Now there's a new kid. His name is Twitch. He steals cars. He knows how to drive. Caveman gets an idea. The next day when they're digging holes, Caveman breaks away from the kids and he and Twitch steal the guard's truck to go look for Zero. But wait, Twitch did nothing. Caveman just jumped in and drove away. Then he crashes the truck like 30 feet away. Then he gets out and runs. What? Hard cut to the vultures eating both Zero and Caveman's dead eyes. Just kidding. He finds a hole with lizards in it. Is that God's thumb? Back to digging holes, the warden says, we wait 2 weeks, say he's missing. By then, there'll be nothing left to find. I thought she was the good guy, but now she's like the baddest of the bad guys. What is happening? Caveman finds an upside-down boat, I think, in the desert, and it's Zero sleeping underneath it. He's alive. We hug. He's like, well, got to go back to camp before we die. And Zero's like, hold up, check it out. And he's found dusty jars of what he calls sploosh. And I think it's alcohol. This is a good find. It's the Onion Man's boat from after he got murdered. He thinks he can go back and leverage this find into saving their freedom. And Zero asks what Mary Lou is, because that's what's engraved into the upside-down boat. It's definitely Onion Man's boat. Montage of them carrying on across the desert. They don't go back. They got their dusty cans of peaches. What is this song now? It's like Disney tried to add safe mainstream rock hits from like D-grade bands into this movie in 2003, and I love it. They're climbing up a cliff, and he almost Shia LaBeoufs it. That's a Saskatchewan joke. No one's going to get that. They get to the top of the mountain, and he's still teaching Zero to spell and read, but Zero is coughing and collapses and starts to roll down the mountain. Caveman saves him, but Zero is dead? Is Zero dead? No, Zero's just passed out. Stanley is now carrying Zero up the mountain, and we hear the audio from the fortune teller telling Stanley's great-great-grandfather dad to carry her up the mountain. Is Zero the descendant of the fortune teller? Okay, like one of the 36 flashbacks kind of lines up with another one now. At the top of the mountain is a giant pond. It's water. They're alive. They're in God's thumb. Also, onions are growing up there, and they eat onions. Zero flashes back to the fortune teller's song or curse. I'm not sure. Wait for it. Wait for it. What is happening? What is f***ing happening? Now we're back at Caveman's home and Dad is boiling his shoe. And now there's no odor because he boiled the shoe in peaches and onions, and the fawn says, I told you I was on the blink of no stink. Zero tells Stanley it's his fault, he's in prison camp. Zero stole the shoes. He went to the homeless shelter and he took the shoes from Sweet Feet. He heard the sirens, so he took off the stolen shoes and he tossed them off the bridge where they landed on Stanley. He got busted the next day anyway for stealing another pair of shoes from Payless. Wah wah. Stanley replies, hey man, Zero, it's destiny. Then he beats that f***ing kid thief for setting all this in motion, getting him stuck in prison digging holes. Just kidding. They're finally connecting a few more dots, only 476 more random flashbacks to connect. Stanley's mom is at the prison asking where her son is, and they're all stalling because they think he's dead. Back on the mountain, Stanley's happy he got beamed with the shoes, even though he was sent to camp because of the curse. But now here they are on God's thumb. Again, Shia LaBeouf, great acting. He's taking some stupid lines of dialogue and making them sound amazing in this movie. He goes, what do you say we dig one more hole? Flash forward, flash back, I don't even know anymore. Some lady is sitting by the upside down boat in the desert. It's the hot school teacher, flash back. And Ghost Sam appears, then the robbers come and they're like, tell us where the loot is, lady. And she's like, go on, kill me. There is no loot. It hasn't rained since they killed Sam. She's like, I don't know if you, or she says, don't I know you, to the wife of the robber? I'm Linda Walker. Linda Walker from Global TV? Another joke no one else is gonna get. Still in the flashback, robber says they have been digging holes and they couldn't find her loot. The robber says, I ain't gonna kill you, lady, but when I'm done with you, you'll wish you were dead. And that's pretty rapey. She curses them and says that her descendants are gonna dig holes for the rest of their existence. Then a lizard bites her and she dies. That was like a flash middle. So back at camp, everyone is mad at each other, and the two kids have secretly come back, and they're secretly digging once again in the dark where they found the lipstick. They're digging deeper and deeper, and then they find something. They find the loot. They find a treasure chest. And even though I saw it coming a mile away, it was still awesome. Boom! Flashlights. The warden and the guards are there at the top of the hole. And the pit is suddenly crawling with lizards. They're all over the two kids, and the adults are taunting them. Warden's granddaddy went mad digging holes, looking for the treasure his entire life, even on Christmas. Flashback to her childhood, spent digging holes as her nuts grandpa screamed at her because they were cursed. What is happening? It's morning, and they haven't been bitten yet, but they're still standing in the lizard-infested hole. Caveman's mom is coming, so the warden and the guard are like, stall him. But then the lawyer finds Stanley in the hole covered with lizards. They climb out. The lizards don't bite them at all. They pull out the treasure chest, and it has his name on it, Stanley Yelnats. They take the treasure chest home, and they're bringing Zero home. I guess they can just take an extra kid home from this camp. Oh no, they can't have him. They can't take Zero. Stanley says, I'm not leaving without Zero. The lawyer asks for Zero's file, and guess what? There's no file on Zero. The other boys run out and they're like, boys, you're alive! Yep, there is no file for Zero. An investigation is ordered for this facility. Immediately, turns out one of the guards is in violation of parole. The facility is now under the law's jurisdiction, and they let the boys gather up the warden and her henchmen. And it finally rains. Onion Man Ghost is pleased. This is like Blue Velvet played backwards and upside down. That's what this movie is. The boys are cheering and hugging, and I hate how much weight this scene actually has. Warden begs just to see what's inside the treasure chest, and Caveman looks her dead in the eye and then just slams the trunk shut. Amazing scene. Back at the table, they're opening the chest. 3, 2, 1, swerve! No, wait, it's actually full of gold and silver. Caveman says, whatever is in here, Hector gets half. They all agree and they start divvying everything up. A bus pulls up outside and Hector's mom gets off and runs to him. I hear you're rich now, boy. No, he used his money to hire a private investigator to find his mom who's been looking for him, and that's how all these great-great-great-grandsons all became neighbors at the end. Now, Sweet Feet is the face of new Sloosh foot spray. How did that happen? Guess you'll have to fill in the holes yourself, they say. Alien Sigourney Weaver was the warden. Patricia Arquette was the lady. Henry Winkler, of course, and Eartha Kitt was the fortune teller. Nice. Now we have Digging a Hole rap, which I'm pretty sure is Shia LaBeouf rapping. Amazing. I'm fascinated. What does Wikipedia say? Holes is a 2003 American neo-Western comedy drama film, and it's Shia LaBeouf's first acting role. No way. Amazing. Also, TimeToast.com is the entire movie and flashback sequences written out linearly, but I don't have the time or effort to read it because it's long. It's there if you care.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal personal appearance that he has. Thank you.